ex put you out.
Oh yeah.
So tell that story.
Yeah. That's when I was first in my beginning stages of, really chasing my dream of comedy. At the time I felt like she didn't believe in my dream and my goals. I used to want her to support me so much.
Let me tell y'all something. I don't blame his girlfriend for telling him to get a freaking job and kick him out of her house. I don't blame her. Because ain't nothing funny when that rent due when you ain't got the money. Ain't nothing funny about that. After I pay my bills, like the first or second of the month, I can't laugh again until the fifth. I can't laugh again until I re-up. And I got the money. Ain't nothing funny when you got bills due and it's a man in your house who's not contributing. But in all seriousness though, that was really her fault for even letting that man live with her. Because what you mean he ain't got no job and you let him live with you? What was the point of him being there? He could have did that at his mama house. And that's exactly where he went back to, his mama house. Sometimes men just gotta get out the mud. You can't help men. In all seriousness, for real, men have to do things the hard way. As a woman, when you help a man, you low-key shoot yourself in the foot. You really are. They're never gonna appreciate what you did for them. They're gonna resent you for feeling like he couldn't do it himself and he had a woman help him. And then once he get up, it's risky because who knows if he's gonna stick with you if you do help him.
All right, y'all. This is the Club Shay Shay Desi Banks video that everybody has been talking about. Everybody come in, put your city in the chat, hit the like button. And I have this actual woman on the show with me. This is going to be good. Facebook is tripping, so I got to figure out what's going on with Facebook because somebody flagged my freaking channel. But it is what it is. So everybody come in, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, and drop your city in the chat because my whole stream is screwed up because of Facebook. But let's talk about this because this has to be talked about. What's going on, Amani?
Hey.
All right, so we're gonna give a little backstory on all of this first, but I just wanted to have you up and introduce you real quick. And my question to you first is why did you go in on Desi Banks so hard about this particular situation? And why was it prevalent for you to talk about this particular thing?
My whole platform is about dissecting and having the conversation about why it seems like Black men and Black women cannot come together. Let's dissect these things. Let's talk about it so that we can improve it. Because when I think about Black people and improving the lives of Black people, I think about a strong community that is made up of Black families. And you have to get Black people together in order to have that, right? So when Desi Banks is talking about him making a woman a baby mother, he did not marry her. He's living in her house. He's not paying the bills. I'm thinking, this is what is wrong. When we think about leadership roles, what we should be doing in a relationship, a marriage, we do things the wrong way. It should be a job, a wife, a house, and some kids, and in that order. You did things in the exact reverse way. You had a kid with no job, multiple kids, I think, because I think when she kicked him out, somebody was saying that their kid was a newborn. So you got multiple kids that you're having with this woman who you are not providing for. You ain't got nothing to your name, and you want her to support you just based off of you doing some skits on Instagram that took years to pop off. It wasn't just 6 months to a year, 2 years. It was years before Desi Banks started getting, and then, back then on social media, you weren't making no money on social media 6 years ago. People just now were starting to make money on social media. So you had literally put providing for your family on the back burner to chase a dream. And yeah, we should all be chasing a dream, but chase a dream that's going to chase a dream and do what you got to do as a man too. Because if you want to chase a dream, be single and don't have any kids. But you didn't choose that for yourself. You have kids and you chose to have a girlfriend that was having your children. So now your responsibility is taking care of your family, and he wasn't doing that. So we got to talk about that. We got to talk about why it seems like Black men don't put providing for their family as a number one priority. And like I said, you don't have to do that, but then don't have a family, period. Not everyone is cut out for marriage and children. But if you're going to have kids and have a girlfriend, have a wife, or make sure you can provide for them, because that's your place. And I feel like when we think about what our places are in our relationships, things will go a little bit smoother because we know what we're supposed to be doing.
And that's the issue that we're going to talk about, because I totally agree with you. We have to do things in proper order, and we can't just sit around and complain about a woman or a man not doing something that we actually supposed to be doing for ourselves. Because that's the thing. We have to be doing these things for ourselves. As a man, we're going to get into the Desi Banks situation, but as a man, you, regardless of what age you are, it doesn't really change. You are the assumed leader, and whatever you do is whatever she's going to respond to. And if you aren't doing what you're supposed to do, if you aren't leading properly, if you don't have a plan, because sometimes you're young and you don't have a plan, that's okay. But you can't get mad at a woman for not believing in you if you don't have a plan. Because like I said, sometimes you don't have a plan. Sometimes you don't know what you're doing. But you can't get mad at a woman for looking at you like, yo, why don't you know what you're doing? That's kind of how life goes. You're supposed to know something, because if you don't know something, if you don't have a plan, if you ain't going in a certain direction, y'all just together just to be together. And if y'all have a baby, guess what? Y'all are not going to be equally yoked. Why? Because y'all don't know each other. And that's the biggest thing. Go ahead.
Yeah. One thing that we don't talk about enough too, that I always talk about on my channel for women, is there is no such thing off of, because here's what the thing is. Desi pretty much wanted his girlfriend to have his kids and support him based off of his potential. That's what he wanted her to do. And one thing I always warn women against is dating for potential, because what if it didn't work out for him? There's a million Instagram comics who are still struggling to pay their rent. That's been doing it for years. There are comics, that been doing basically, there are some people that point blank period just get lucky. Like, let's just call it what it is. There are some people that just get lucky. You put hard work in, but sometimes you just get lucky. So what if you're wanting her to date you off potential, and what if 6 years turned to 10 years, turned to 20 years, and now she's been supporting you all this time, and now she's put all this time in with nothing to show for it. People, they like to justify it as, well, she missed out because now he up. She ain't missed out on nothing, because you should never be dating for potential. You should be dating for what you see in front of you, and what was in front of her was a baby daddy with no money, period.
Exactly. So, yeah, we got to pay attention to what we doing out here in these streets instead of blaming things on other people. So here's the video, y'all, and I'm going to play it out. And then because I got a bunch of TikToks in this video, and it's absolutely hilarious because they going in on Desi. But yeah, I want to see what y'all got to say. All right, here we go.
Where an ex put you out.
Oh yeah.
So tell that story.
Yeah, that's.
And everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody hit the like button and share this video, because my stream is getting hated on. I got a whole bunch of people that flagged my shit the day before yesterday. So I need y'all help to spread this out, because I got flagged. I got a bunch of flags on my channel. So hit the like button, share this video out.
When I was first in my beginning stages, really chasing my dream of comedy. At the time, I felt like she didn't believe in my dream and my goals. I used to want her to support me so much.
Let me tell y'all something. I don't blame his girlfriend for telling him to get a freaking job and kick him out of her house. I don't blame her, because ain't nothing funny when that rent due when you ain't got the money. Ain't nothing funny about that. After I pay my bills like the 1st or 2nd of the month, I can't laugh again until the 5th. I can't laugh again until I re-up, and I got the money. Ain't nothing funny when you got bills due and it's a man in your house who's not contributing. But in all seriousness though, that was really her fault for even letting that man live with her, because what you mean he ain't got no job and you let him live with you? What was the point of him being there? He could have did that.
I gotta stop right there. You ladies who be letting dudes live with y'all, like y'all are bums just like the dudes are bums. Like y'all gotta understand. I've lived with a woman before, and I was a bum. I was a whole bum, you know. So you gotta just be real with yourself. Like sometimes you just down bad, and you just gotta figure your life out. Because the thing about it is, I always said before, if I ever woke up homeless under a bridge and I ain't got no ID and it's cold outside, I'ma easily go to one of these cars and like ask for some money, try to get me like $60 within a, I don't know, 12-hour period, just asking for money. I'm gonna catch a bus to a Walmart, buy me some pants, buy me a $5 shirt and some work boots, and I'm gonna walk to the hood and find me a fat girl that fat chicks just be sitting on a porch, especially when it ain't cold. So fat chicks just be sitting on the porch in the hood, and I'm just gonna walk past a fat chick a couple times and flirt with her. Next thing you know, I got somewhere to stay, and I'm gonna be living with her. So I'm gonna find a chick to live with if I'm stranded on the side of the road or whatever. So it just is what it is. That's bum behavior. So when men live with women, they are in I'm not, because a man isn't a bum, because you can grow and be better, but at that particular point we are bums when we live with women, because a lot of these women, especially 10-15 years ago, before this whole entrepreneurship came out, a lot of women was on Section 8. They got a kid or 2 kids or whatever, and they live in Section 8 spots or whatever, and dudes just live with the chick, and her Section 8 her rent don't be number like $80 or $200. So a dude that just paid a little $200, because that's what I used to do, and then you good. So instead of you qualifying for this and doing all this and putting all these, you just go find a little cute chick or a fat chick and then live in her house and pay her little $200 Section 8 rent, and then boom, you good. But it's bum behavior, and that's the thing.
When we know how prideful men are and how big of an ego even a broke man has, when a man is down bad enough to let you see him be down bad, that's the first indication that you are not even the woman for him, because he is so willing to see you like a man that he like. If he has his dream girl in his mind, right, like a girl that he's always wanted, he ain't gonna let her see him broke and down bad, and he ain't gonna let that happen. He's with you because he don't really want to be with you in the long run. He using you as a come up. And that's something that women have to understand too. By you helping a man, you're really just letting him walk all over you, and you're just letting him use you for a come up. Because if you were his dream girl, he would never let you see him broke. He would never let you house him like a little kid. He would never let you do those things for him. If he really wanted you, like if he was like, oh, I want to marry this woman, he would never do that. He would wait. He would go back to his mama house, get his money back up, wait, and then come to you when he already had something going for him. He would never let you see him down bad. So he's just using you. Like, that's what women have to understand. Like, he's not with you because he's like, oh, I love you and I want to always be with you in your space. No, he just need to come up off of you. And that's exactly what Desi was doing with that girl. I don't care what he say.
And for Desi to feel so sad, I think his sadness was about maybe people, not just his lady, people, his environment not believing in him. And it hurt more when the girl that he loved didn't believe in him either. You know what I'm saying? So the thing about it is, we want people to believe in us. You know, sometimes we have other people that look at us like we're crazy when we say what we want to do. And it hurts our feelings sometimes, you know what I'm saying? But none of that has anything to do with living arrangements. That's when it changes. You can't get mad at a woman that needs help with her bills to turn around and say, hey, I need help on the bills. You know, like that's really simple. So
especially a woman that got your kids. Like that's I think
so
that
she got his kids.
Yes, that's his baby mother.
Oh,
that's what they said. They said that they had a newborn when that was all happening.
Really?
That's what they said on TikTok. No.
Okay. So let's get back to it.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I'm emphasizing I don't think we're talking about the kids enough, because You can chase dreams and be a broke artist and a struggling singer. You can do that all you want when you are single with no kids. It's actually encouraged. Like there's a time in your life that you're supposed to chase your dreams. Like for me, unmarried, no kids, I could quit my job and do my podcast full time. I don't have anybody else depending on me. But when you have kids, you can't be out here just chasing dreams willy-nilly. Like, and if you do still want to chase your dreams, do it when you clock out. Go clock in, out, and then chase your dreams. People act like they can't do extra on the side with a full-time job. Yes, you can. I did it for years. I always had a job, and I always did my business on the side on the weekends until I figured out what I wanted to do. And then when I figured out what I wanted to do, that allowed me to quit my job and put all into my job. But you can definitely do both. So why wasn't he? And then he wasn't doing nothing that didn't require, like he was just making skits. Like you can do that anytime. Like,
he could have had a full-time job. Because I'm gonna tell you, when I first started doing what I was doing, I was working a job. I was driving for Uber. I wrote a book. I was doing a whole bunch of different things, right? And I had plenty time to go make money. It wasn't a problem, So let's go to this commercial break real quick, and we're gonna come right back.
How about we meet up at a coffee shop and play this fun dating card game? We'll have fun and see if we're compatible all at the same time.
Ooh, what's the name of the game?
It's called Deeper Discussions.
I'm down.
Okay, meet you at 6.
Fellas, buy this card game. Ladies, buy this card game. Buy about 2 or 3 card games. The main reason why people can't stay together isn't because they don't like each other no more. It's actually because their present family issues come up or their past family issues come up. But when you play Deeper Discussions, you'll be able to understand a person's family issues up front.
This game can be played with either 2 people or an entire group. So have fun.
Question number 1. Name a time when money was the main factor why a relationship went bad.
Deeper Discussions Dating Edition. Again, these cards are good for vetting a potential boyfriend, a potential girlfriend, a potential husband, a potential wife. The texture of these cards are so soft and silky, by the way. Like
they ain't gonna get
really
wore out.
Durable.
A dating card game for introverts who have a hard time asking the much needed compatibility questions. Deeper Discussions, the card game.
All right, so the reason why I created this card game is to help people understand what type of person that you're dating when it comes to life, and not just how cute somebody is or what their favorite color is. Like a lot of men and a lot of women, they have family dynamics that they grew up watching and admiring or hating, and they grow up wanting to live like that or wanting to live the opposite of that. And how they operate out in the world, what type of mate they choose, is because of how they grew up. And my dating card game, Deeper Discussions, helps people have deeper discussions about family aspects that mold how a person perceives the opposite sex. And if you're dating somebody and y'all just sit around having surface level questions, you could turn around and live in a household with a person that don't even want the same thing out of life than you. And that is what my Deeper Discussions card game helps people do. But y'all want to go out here and just date willy-nilly and end up looking stupid. Now you got some chick pregnant and she won't let you see your kid, or you with some dude that you don't got pregnant by and he's a bum, and you sitting around wondering like why your life is bad and why men are trash. No, you're trash because you did not realize that you don't know how to vet a man. So I will vet the man. I will vet the woman for you. All you got to do is have this Deeper Discussions card game just on your little table, and then boom, whenever you on the phone with a man, whenever you're on the phone with a woman, y'all meet out, go out or whatever, you can hang out with your homegirls or homeboys and just pick a card. And it's just it's a fun thing to do to get a better understanding of the people in your environment, because it's not just a dating situation. It could be me and Omani just having a conversation to see what type of person she is, to see what type of person I am. And then boom, you get a better understanding of who people are. And that's the thing that people don't want to do. Next thing you know, y'all living together and a baby don't got made and y'all hate each other. So yeah, that's the biggest issue. We ain't paying
His
attention
mama
to
house.
we ain't paying attention to the damn details enough. We just want to smash and kiss and be in each other's face.
House. Who's not contributing. Like, but in all seriousness though, that was really her fault for even letting that man live with her. Because what you mean he ain't got no job and you let him live with you? What was the point of him being there? He could have did that at his mama house. And that's exactly where he went back to, his mama house.
And you make a great point. Why they living together and you ain't got no job? You supposed to live with your mama.
Sometimes men just gotta get out the mud. You can't help men. Like, in all seriousness, for real, men have to do things the hard way. As a woman, when you help a man, you low-key shoot yourself in the foot. Like, you really are. They're never gonna appreciate what you did for them. They're gonna resent you for feeling like he couldn't do it himself and he had a woman help him. And then once he get up, it's risky because who knows if he's gonna stick with you if you do help him. He might get up and then be like, oh, okay, now I can afford the woman I want. He gonna leave you. It's always a risk. It ain't even worth it.
You know, I thought there was gonna be a woman I was gonna be with. You know what I'm saying? I did a lot of stuff with her. You know what I'm saying? Every dime that I got, where I was working, I gave to her. The only thing I wanted to do was get me a haircut and pay my cell phone bill so I could, you know, shoot my video.
Right.
But I felt like at the time the money, it wasn't coming fast enough.
Right.
You know, it wasn't there. So she went to, you need to get a job. You need to do this. You need to do that. Well, I can't do this no more. So you know, you might have to, you know, go do something else. So it sent me to my grandmama's house. You know what I'm saying? So I was staying with my grandma for a little minute. And at that moment.
But that happened at late at night. Where that was like.
Yeah. Like.
So she put you out like 2, 3 in the morning.
Yeah. And crazy. Like I cried. Like I cried. I was crying already. Like, you know when you.
It's the crying part.
I'm not laughing at him because he said he was crying. I'm just laughing because that just sounds like kind of funny to me. Because like I could understand like being real down bad and you just like you feel defeated. But come on, like you kind of put yourself in that situation. Like I mean, he 100% did. And shoot, he better at least be lucky that his grandmama was, you know, willing to put him up. Because some people will be like, no, you ain't come back to live with me. So he better be lucky that he got you in his life that let him come back home. Because some people be like, nah, stay where you at. Yeah. For real. So shoot.
Yeah, because when a woman is just like get out and she mad at you, you got to get out and you can not have nowhere to go. And if you ain't got nowhere to go, you literally could be homeless. So yeah, he's lucky. So all the crying, which I can understand, it hurts, you know, that when somebody doesn't believe in you, but you need to be happy that you had somewhere to go, you know.
You chasing something, man. You trying to make this.
Huh?
I was gonna say, well, my thing is to like, even as a woman, right? How it's normalized for like a woman to move in with a man. Mm-hmm. Even in that, before you're married, that's just as dangerous and just as wrong because that man can put you out just like Desi girlfriend put him out, right? And then you really don't know where to go. Like I've had girlfriends in that situation.
You got rights though. Wait, so you said even if you're married?
No, I said before you're married.
Before,
like
okay, gotcha.
Yeah, before you're married. Yeah, before you're married, it's risky either way. Like, because as a woman, it would hurt for somebody to kick you out, right? And you should always have your own as a man. But just imagine as a man. Just imagine as a man like that. I know that's 10 times worse because it's normal for a woman to be put up. You know, like it's normal for a woman to be financially taken care of and move in with the man. But when you put your pride aside to do that as a man and she kick you out, I know that crap has to be like crazy. Like with your garbage bag full of clothes, you having a garbage bag of clothes. Child.
It happened to me. I one time I lived with a woman and everything was good, but there's another time I could say I lived with her. Me and her, she lived with it was doing like around 2007, 2008, and the world was falling apart. And like there was no jobs, everybody was getting laid off, and they fired me they found a way to fire me instead of laying me off. And because they was just trying to get rid of people because 2008 everything's falling apart. and it was really no jobs. And I literally found some little bullcrap job, and I was just working a bullcrap job, just making like $500 a week. And that wasn't enough to get no apartment, right? And I started dating this chick, and she was living with her mama. And of course, I was like, let's get a spot together, right? And she had a kid, and she was like, oh, I've been waiting on my Section 8 to actually, come through. So let's just wait until the Section 8 come through. And she, started getting on a computer, and she found a Section 8 spot that was a little farther out than she wants to. But since I'm going to be there, she was like, let's do it. So I moved in with her little Section 8 spot. I paid a little One thing with me, I wasn't a total bum. Everywhere I lived, whether it was in my mama house as a kid, I paid the rent. I've never been nowhere in my entire life past the age of 13 without paying the majority of the bills ever in life. Okay. So I was a half bum, but I did live with her. I did pay her little Section 8 money. And at some point, it didn't work out, and she was like, I don't want to do this no more. And I'm like, what that mean? She's like, you got to go. And I was like, where am I supposed to go? But by then, you got to remember how we think as men. We stacking our bread to at some point get rid of you anyway. Not get rid of you, but move on from you anyway, right? Because I had a house in Atlanta that I was thinking about moving back in, but I had tenants in that house, so I couldn't move back in my house. So I had options. So I was just trying to get all the options together. So when she turned around and said, leave, I was sad, right? But I stacked my money enough where I was able to go on by my business. Because we was together for like, I don't know, about 8 months or whatever. So I stacked my bread. So it wasn't bad, but it did happen to me. So yeah, like we stack our bread and we move on from y'all, because like you said, you said it. For you as a woman, you're very introspective to actually be able to say that. But we don't want to be with a woman that has seen us at our weakest point, at our brokest point. If you've ever really lived around me, not seen me, but lived around me in this bum state, I don't want you to know me. So I don't want to be with you no more when I go up, because at some point you're going to keep seeing me as that bum, and you're not going to admire me the way a man needs to be admired by his woman. You're always going to see me as that bum nigga. So I can't really be with you.
Yeah, and there's it's a difference, but I will admit it's a very fine line. There's a difference between being like standing by someone, because here's the thing. Let's say that Desi was saying like he wasn't living with her, right? Let's say that he wasn't living with her, they didn't have no kids, and he was living on his own, but he was just struggling. Like maybe she was living a little better than him, had a better job. I could understand that. Like I could understand her dating him while he's struggling, but struggling on his own. Maybe he don't got no car or something like that, but he's at least doing it on his own. I could see that. But like I said, it's a fine line between sticking by somebody while they're struggling and then like kind of putting yourself in that situation too, and allowing them to really, or allowing yourself to be their come up, because as women, we just want to help. Like that's just our nature. Like we just want to help. Like we don't want to see you down bad, we want to help. But it is a man's nature that he should not be taking that help. And if he's taking it, he don't want you, girl. Period. He don't.
I totally agree.
It's a very fine line, and sometimes it's hard to say, oh, I wasn't holding him down, I was just being there for him. But you got to know what you should and shouldn't be doing, and that's
because I literally see the thing about men. Maybe they don't really understand the difference between mothering and helping. I want a woman to help me. I don't need a woman to be my mommy, right? I don't need a woman to house me.
They don't.
Right. I need a woman to actually
how their mom treated them.
Yeah, I need a woman to come in my house and see the areas that need improvement of my house, of my world, and say, I want to help you enrich this environment, make it smell better, make it look better, make it more efficient. oh, I see something that you forgot right here. Did you do this? Did you do that? Let me cook. She's adding, like, or either she's taking away things that I don't necessarily want to deal with. That's what a helpmate is. But when you house a man, you're his mother. A man's supposed to house a woman. Like, you don't supposed to look for a spouse until you have a house for the woman. You feel me? So these men, they run around wanting to be with women so bad, where they don't wait until they have some type of structure and wonder why they get emasculated. And this is the reason why a lot of these red pill dudes are so screwed up, because they actually have this like terrible mindset of thinking that women owe them something. We owe y'all something. We owe ourselves something. We're men. We have to earn everything that we get, whether it's a woman's approval, whether it's a woman's body, whether it's anything. We have to earn it, and women don't. And that's the difference between men and women.
And that's just the truth. And people that don't like it, you can F off, or you'll probably never get married, because that is just the truth. There are double standards in life. Some of them benefit men, some benefit women, and that's just what it is. You can live in the, well, it should be this way and it could be this way. Well, it's not that way. Well, you have to live in reality and navigate reality. And the reality is, it's a huge difference in dynamic of a man housing a woman and a woman housing a man, a woman splitting 50-50 bills. Like, there's just a huge dynamic difference. And yeah, like a lot of men think that help and support is what their mom gave them. So that's what they're always looking for in a woman. But it's just like, no one is ever going to love you like your mom. Like, let's just put that out there too. A woman is not supposed to love you like your mom. Like, your mom doesn't have to get anything from you. Just the fact that she birthed you, she's going to always love you. But I didn't birth you. And my love for you and us being together is contingent on several things. And if you aren't meeting those things, then when I dip, you can't be mad at me. You can't be like, you didn't support my dreams and my goals. I don't have to. Your mama has to. I don't.
Right. And with all that being said, I think it's important for men to realize that a woman doesn't want that either. A woman, really, in all honesty, a woman wants to catch a man at the finish line. You know, if she had it, you know, if it was all up to her, but at the end of the day, she ain't gonna get what she wants either. So it has to be some type of middle ground. But if you don't know what the hell you want to do in life, you're just going to end up getting a woman pregnant. That's why a lot of these dudes on child support complain about their baby mama putting them on child support. Like, why are you complaining about your baby mom putting you on child support? What do you think is going to happen if you put a baby in her? Now you mad at her for doing what typical people do. You got to take care of your child, sir. But I ain't got no job. But I ain't got no purpose. I don't care. You got a baby, nigga. Like, figure your life out. Take care of this baby. You know, period. So shout out to Zamir Cage for the $2 super chat. I appreciate you. But yeah, man, let's keep going.
Trying to make this shit work. And man, I remember this shit like yesterday, bro. Like, I was trying to talk to her. She like, boy, if you don't go to sleep. I'm like, what? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, like, okay. And that made me cry even harder. So I just walked in the living room and I was just like, damn, shit, like, all right, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Hey, on social media to this day, I feel like any.
So right here, he's going to talk about how early he started, because this is going to help everybody really understand how early in the game he actually was, where nobody believed in him because nobody was doing it. See, it's one thing about now, hey, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Okay, it makes sense. But back in year 2007, 2012,
yeah,
I think YouTube was invented in 2010.
No, it was before that. I had YouTube in middle school.
Hold on. When was YouTube? Well, I mean, it was like okay, the purpose of YouTube was how to fix a car back in 2010. Black YouTube wasn't invented. Put it like that. You know, it wasn't people talking about relationships is what I'm talking about.
No, yeah, YouTube was all music videos and how-to videos, yes.
It was how-to videos. It was how to fix a car, how to change a tire, or stuff like that. So I would say because Issa Rae was like the first person that actually started doing some stuff on YouTube that wasn't about fixing a car. You get what I'm saying? So it was a lot of things that just wasn't thought of yet. So this is what he said.
Social media comedian that's out there that started on social media, I don't feel like none of them really care about this crap more than me. Nobody. And that's a fact. That's a fact. I started in 2012.
Right.
A lot of these guys track record, they just got started.
Right.
A lot of these probably 4 years in. I'm 10, 12 years in. A lot of these videos that you probably see these people do, man, I did it first. I swear to God. I did it first. She didn't believe in my dream and my goals. I used to want her to support me so much.
I'm just going to say this to all the young women. Unless you have a ring on your finger, it is not your job to hold down a man. And this is from somebody who had to leave a 3-year relationship because my partner continuously told me what I was not doing for him when I struggled so hard to support him and love him and pour into him while my cup was constantly on E. I mean, I was 21 years old, already self-employed for about a year or two. He's 7 years older than me. He, was struggling to figure out what he was going to do.
So hold on, let's back that up. She said he was 7. What?
Stop. But you know what? I appreciate that girl because at least she's, listen, she's learning from it now.
Yes.
But you know what, Blow? Because she could have got on the internet and been like, I hate that he's saying that because I was in this situation and I supported a man that was 7 years older than me. Girl, who told you to do that?
Right.
When I was 21, do you think I would have been with a 28, 29-year-old man that
supporting him?
Come on. But you know what? I feel like girls that do stuff like that, they didn't have their parents in their lives. They couldn't have. Because where was your mama when you was dating a 29-year-old? Where was your mama? You couldn't. It's impossible. It's impossible. So I feel bad for people like that because you obviously did not have parental guidance. At 21, I was still talking to my mom, and there's no way she would have let me in that situation. My dad would not have let me in that situation. It blows my mind that there are women that get into that.
That's a secret that you don't know about as a woman. You said my mom and my dad. Most women don't have a dad. And this is the actual secret that you don't know. Most of the time, when a girl is 21 and she has a boyfriend, and say, I don't really know, I want to go back to what the girl said, but say she's dating a guy that's 29 and say he has his own apartment, not her situation. And she lives with her mama. It has happened to plenty of us, me, friends of mine also. The second the mama realizes that the dude has his own place, whether he's doing good or bad or not, she's going to put the daughter out. She's going to find a way to get into an argument with her daughter to put her out, to push her out of the house. Because the mom is like, all right, I can finally get rid of this bitch. So I can just act like I'm mad at you, act a fool, and she's just naturally going to go live with her boyfriend, and I can walk around my house naked and do what I want to do, and I'm through with this 21-year-old that's eating up all my food. So this happens a lot. Not saying it happens with her, but a lot of young women, just to give you the perspective of a single mother, they get sick of their daughter living in their house and eating up their food and not paying no bills. And especially if she's attractive, she's like, damn, don't nobody want you? And the second she gets a 29-year-old or 28-year-old, she like, oh yeah, I can get rid of this because I don't even know the dude, but I know if he's 29, he's functional as an adult and he can get rid of her ass. And next thing you know, she starts an argument. It literally happened to me. It literally happened to a few of my friends a few times. And it almost worked because the girl, me and the girl was talking, right? And all of a sudden she calls me like, oh my God, I can't believe this. And I'm like, what's going on? My mom is putting me out. And I hear in the background, you da. The mama just going off. can you come and get me? So I had a truck at the time. So I was like, all right, I pulled up. I'm like, what's going on? And guess what? It was no talking. She bringing boxes to my truck, putting it on the back of the truck. I'm like, what the? I had a Avalanche back then. So I'm like, what is you doing? She just crying, taking stuff to my truck. Ain't even asked me nothing. Because in her mind and in her mama's mind, oh yeah, you finna get with this dude here. Now I wasn't like super older and she wasn't 21-year-old, but it was one of those situations. And I let her do it because I don't even know what's going on. I don't want to be like, yo, whoa, whoa, and then like put the stuff in the grass. So I was like, okay, but while we driving off, I'm like, what's happening? I ain't got nowhere to stay. Da-da-da-da. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, it'd be nice to wake up to some ass every morning, but you know, I have an understanding. I've always understood women more than an average man, and this is dangerous. I'm not gonna let this woman live with me, and I don't even know her that good, and we ain't made no agreement. This is just some help me type of situation. No, I ain't gonna be able to get rid of her. So I literally was like, okay, I'm not taking nothing out of the truck. We need to find somewhere for you to go. You can spend the night, but we ain't moving all this stuff in my house. And I actually sent her back to her baby daddy because she had a kid, and her baby daddy was around. So I was just like, no, you can't stay here. So she's like, I ain't got nowhere to go. I said, well, I gotta take you to a hotel. So I paid for like, I think 4 nights. And she was like, what am I gonna do? I'm like, call your baby daddy. I don't know. And that was it, because you can't make me have you come live with me. Like, we got to have a conversation. We wasn't even close enough for all this stuff to be happening. So sometimes the mother would kick the woman out. So I just wanted to say that some of these single mothers be sick of their daughters and they ready for them to go out. So have you ever heard of a situation like that?
No, if I'm being honest, and a lot of my friends were raised by single mothers, and I've experienced the opposite, to where, you know, when I went off to college, and I came back home after college, my mom, I wouldn't say that she didn't want me living there, because she told me when I left the house, she was sad about it. But she definitely wanted me to contribute, and I contributed. It was like a couple hundred a month, and I hated that because I was like, "You're my mom. You're supposed to be letting me live rent free. Like, what are you doing?" Oh, I hated it, and I was struggling too. Oh, I was poor. Oh, I hated it. So my mom, she wasn't like kicking me out, but it was time. You know, like when you're in your early 20s, like, okay, so what are you about to do then? You know, so you know, it's kind of a conversation. But I've really experienced to a lot of times the single mom be wanting their kids around because she's a single mom. She ain't got no man, especially
Now, when it's a daughter. Now, when it's a daughter,
I don't know. But I've always experienced the mom be wanting the kids to stay home. My grandmother, no, she's not a single.
Single mothers do not like their daughters in a lot of cases. Most single mothers do not like, especially when they start getting fine and they start walking around, they ain't got no stretch marks, mom all fat and out of shape, and she got, you know, and she has this feeling of, you know, I used to look like you, and you walking around, you walking around, you know, your daughter looking around, looking like you, and she walking around looking all crazy. No, like, because you're a constant reminder of how she used to look, and you walk around with panties on because y'all 2 women living in the house. She don't want to see that, because it reminds, every time she sees your body, it reminds her of how she used to look before she had you, and she kind of blames you for why her body looks the way it does. So she don't want to see that shit in her house.
Fathers do the same thing to their sons. When their sons turn 18, dads be want to kick their sons out. I mean, well, it's not the same.
That's the difference, though. They're men. You supposed to kind of like, you know.
Yes. Like I was gonna say, it's not the same premise, but it's the, you know, the same thing happens. You know, as soon as you turn 18, your dad be wanting you out too. And I could see a mom when you like 20, especially if you got a kid. Like you said that the girl had a kid. If I was her mom, I'd be like, girl, you can't live with me forever too.
Yes.
But and it's very possible for parents to be jealous of their kids. It's very much possible. I've seen it. We've all seen it on social media. We've all seen it. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure that plays a factor. I mean, I don't know. The single mom thing wasn't a thing for me. It wasn't a thing for my family, but I do know a lot of guys that were raised by single moms, and their moms, of course, wanted them to stay home because that was their man.
Yeah, because just imagine me dating a chick and she got a kid, and I don't even know the kid that much. I'm just dating the chick. We smashing, we vibing, everything's good. You know, I see your kid.
Days, because why you even dating a baby mother to begin with?
I got kids myself. I don't never look at
that. Oh, this was after you were married?
Yeah.
What? That's when you young.
What do you mean?
I date women with kids. I thought you were talking about when you were like 18, 19 years old or something. Like you talk about this is like how what? Like
I date women with kids. I have no problem with dating a woman with a kid.
Okay, but a woman that's living at home with her mom?
That happens to this day. What are you talking about? Women be broke out here, Amani. Like that's the thing that women are never going to.
Why would you, as a man, want a woman that can't even live on her own to support her kids? I'm thinking you talking about you a young whippersnapper, like you 19. I was like, okay, he was young, but you talk about.
Well, you gotta remember,
grown to be in that situation. Come on, that's absolutely nuts.
Hold on. I gotta add a little context. I got married like really young. Right. So I was divorced at like 23, 24. Yeah. So I was we was together from like, I would say, let me see, from like 18 to 28. So I think I was divorced at 27, 28, 29. So I don't remember, but no, so it's not 23, but it was like close to 30. I wasn't 30 yet and I was divorced. So I wasn't 23, but it was like 27, 28, 29, something like that. So yeah. But all together, I don't have a problem with dating women who got a kid. They ain't never had a. See, the thing about it is I'm against single motherhood, but I'm not against single mothers because it's a mindset of doing the shit over and over again. If you got a 17-year-old daughter, I'm not gonna look at you like, oh, you're a single mother. You got a 17-year-old. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you got a 1-year-old, I can't do no with you. You know, so it just depends on the context. I don't care because I got kids. I can't judge somebody with kids and I got kids, but my kids are grown, so it ain't no big deal with me.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying like you shouldn't date single parents. I don't see any problem with that. If
I
you
thought
or
that's
somebody
what you were saying.
Yeah, but I thought you were just like, because if me being a grown man, I wouldn't have even went over her house. I would have been like, where your baby daddy at? That's on the phone. I would have been like, where your baby father at? Can't you call him? But I guess if you were dating then.
So like if I met you, right? You cute, you're attractive, and you live with your mama and you got like a 7-year-old son. I would date you. I wouldn't have a problem with that. I would try to find out why, who, when, where, and what, and get some understanding of why you live with your mama or whatever. But altogether, that's kind of like what is going on in cities like Atlanta. Women have to go back to live with a mama because rent is too high. This is a normal thing today. And I would date you if you had a 7-year-old son live with your mama. I wouldn't have a problem with that. So just to put that in context, because chicks is broke out here. I ain't got no problem with that. She just ain't finna come move in my house and force me to move in her house out of pity. No. Then I'm going to be like, no, go get a hotel because you still ain't finna live with me. It's going to be me saying, you come live with me or we going to do this. You don't dictate nothing. I don't give a shit what your mama say. You finna go live with your grandmama or something. You ain't live in my house. Because, nah. But does that make sense?
No, yeah, that makes sense. I was just thinking, like, for me, if I was a man, like a grown man, right, and I'm 30, I would not, there's no problem with you living with your parents because like you said, times are hard. And there's 30-year-olds living with their parents, saving up for a house. Like, I get that. But I think I would have a problem with you not being choosing to have a kid and not being self-sufficient. I think I would have a problem with that, because if you can't do it for you and your kid, that speaks to your mentality.
Well, having a kid makes everything worse, though. You got to understand that. Regardless of what you want to say, just like we talking about Desi Banks, right? Having a kid makes everything worse because you got to pay for daycare, or you got to stay home and watch the kid, or you have to pay for clothes, or you got to do this. You got to understand, having a kid makes it where you can't work overtime because you got to get straight off work and pick the kid from school, or either you can't go into work super early. You can't get a job where you can work 6 o'clock in the morning because you got to take your kid to school. So it really puts you in a position where certain jobs you can't accept because it has to be banker's hours, because you got to take your kid to school and you got to pick the kid up unless you got a support system. So having a kid actually makes your life worse. That's why I'm against women just having kids, because they don't realize the kid turns into like an afterthought of the rest of their lives because they're trying to survive. And now you got this damn kid and you're looking at this damn kid like, if it wasn't for you, I'll have a better life. And it traumatizes the kid inadvertently. So yeah, it is. But I ain't got no problem with women with kids or whatever. You know, I know what they got to deal with. So, you know, I empathize with them. I just have a problem with them doing this shit over and over again.
Yeah, we just took a long break from that because I was just flabbergasted by her saying she was 21, sitting up here supporting a 28.
I want to see what she said. I want to get a little into what she said. So this is the video right here. So this is what Armani is talking about right here.
To support me so much.
I wanted to back it up.
I'm just gonna say this to all the young women. Unless you have a ring on your finger, it is not your job to hold down a man. And this is from somebody who had to leave a 3-year relationship because my partner continuously told me what I was not doing for him when I struggled so hard to support him and love him and pour into him while my cup was constantly on E. I mean, I was 21 years old, already self-employed for about a year or two. He's 7 years older than me. He, you know, was struggling to figure out what he was going to do.
See, Amani, this is somewhat the type of woman that I would date. You get what I'm saying? And just like what we was talking about earlier, you can look at a woman and tell what her habits are. You could tell she don't drink a lot. And I may be wrong. You could tell she ain't the party girl. She is a grinder. You could tell how she looks around, like she's like a laid back person. She ain't with the bullshit. Do you agree? Or no? Can you tell what type of woman she is by looking at how she talks and operates?
Yeah, I have a good idea.
And take away the 21-year-old part, but just her mannerisms versus the typical Atlanta woman, what we was talking about earlier. I would date this type of woman instead of the typical Atlanta woman.
With his business, he had a clothing brand at the time. I helped him get on social media. I helped him build out a whole new business plan for something else. I built.
See, this right here is a helpmate that is with a child, right? She is literally looking to add building blocks to what he's already building, but she's starting to do too much work instead of him actually leading the way. But this is a woman that will actually be a helpmate to a dude.
Did with him, gave him creative ideas. I showed up to all of his events. I mean, I put my whole shit on the back burner to support this man. And
she says she lived with him though, just for the record.
Time I turned around, he was telling me what I was not doing. Every time I turned around, he was invalidating my feelings, not trying to understand me, starting arguments with me 24/7, blaming all of his shortcomings on me. And it was a struggle. I'm supporting this man. I'm showing up to all his events. I'm helping him build shit on behind the scenes. And
we don't need to hear no more. I already got the whole picture. He didn't want her.
Oh, really?
He did not want her. She was emotional support coochie. And as long as she was willing to stick around, he was going to let her stick around. That's all that was. He was not going to marry her. He was never going to take her seriously. She was emotional support coochie. That's it. And women have to understand when they're being taken advantage of, period. Because there is no man that is almost 30 that is going to take a woman that's just starting out her life and let her put her dreams and everything on the back burner for him and, you know, argue. She's saying that they were arguing all the time. It's just like, girl, then why were you there?
Because the thing about it is, how are you arguing with a 20? How are you arguing with a 21-year-old? She don't know what the hell she's doing. She's doing what you want. Right? She don't know. Exactly. She sees something and she's showing up to his events, and he's saying she's doing something wrong. She's 22. Like, what the hell do you want her to do? And that is the resentment. So what you're saying is you're right. I agree with you. The resentment is like, yo, you ain't doing this right. And it's kind of like him purposely keeping the actual connection and the attachment apart so he can never stay attached to her because he don't really want to be with her. Because why won't you allow this woman to get attached to what you're doing? Because you're ready, or in some point ready to get her out of there so she can't turn around and claim any of his success for her. Because like I said, a lot of
Yeah, she was just company for him. That's all it was. He wanted somebody to stick by him and be like, "Yeah, babe, you're doing a good job." He just wanted that like support, but he didn't really want her. That's all that is. And women just have to recognize and open their eyes and just look at situations for what they are instead of what they want them to be. Because she said that she was with him for 3 years. There's no way, like, there's just no way. I'm sorry, there's no way that I would have done that. But it's, you know, people just gotta love themselves too, because I love myself way too much to be in that situation. Like, I'm putting me first. Ain't no way I'm putting nothing I got going on the back burner for nobody else. I'm putting me first. So that's all that was. That she basically told a story about how she let herself be emotional support coochie. That's all that was.
And another thing I want to ask you, how does a woman detect that a man doesn't want to be with her and he's stringing her along and they living together or something?
Living together?
Or not living together. But it's usually these living together situations though.
I know. Okay, so I'll give you an example from my own life. I'm gonna give you an example of how I knew. Okay, so it was this guy I used to work with, and after I stopped working with him, he used to always DM me, "Oh, like, let's go out to lunch. Like, what are you doing?" And then, you know, yada yada yada. And I would just always curve him. I would just be like, "Yeah, he's cute," but I was like, I don't see anything there. And then he was just persistent. Like, I would say like a year and a half in my DMs, yada yada. So one day I wasn't doing anything. I was just like, you know what? Like, let's go out and get lunch. Like, what's the harm? That was my first mistake, because you never go out with a fan. Anybody that DMs you for a year and a half, that was my first mistake. But it was the summertime. I was like, okay, this is gonna be my little summer boo, my little summer fling, nothing serious, whatever. So we go out to lunch, everything's cool. We hung out for, I would say, like maybe like 2 to 3 weeks. He would call me every day, yada yada. And then out of the blue, he just stopped. Well, it was a situation to where he got sick. He had a strep throat, and he wasn't working. He wasn't doing nothing. So I knew he was really sick. He wasn't even able to work. And then I saw him on his Instagram story, like he got better. He went back to work, but he hadn't called me or texted me in a few days. So I was just like, okay, well, that's weird, but I'm not about to blow him up. Like, whatever. Like, I'm just sit back and see what he does. He didn't call me, text me for like a week. So I texted him and I was just like, I see you're feeling better. It's very weird how we aren't talking or whatever. And he hit me with the, you know, I've just been busy and, you know, I got family in town. You know what I said to that man? Okay. That's all I said to him. I texted him, okay, and I blocked his number.
Mm-hmm.
A man will show you if he wants you or not. Not everybody is going to like you, period. Mm-hmm. I think women's egos are so big to where they feel like, oh, everybody gonna like me. Ain't no way that he gonna lose out on something. Not everybody is going to like you, right? So I took that as, if a man is giving you an excuse as to why he ain't seeing you, he ain't blowing up your phone no more. Maybe he's talking to somebody new. Who knows? But the first sign that a man shows me that he don't want to be around, oh, baby, you don't got to worry about me. You don't got to worry about me. But this is what other women would have did. They would have blew up his phone. they would have tried to invite him out, like, oh, okay, well, let's go do this. They would have showed up at his job. They would have did something to put themselves in his presence, right? But my thing is, as soon as you show me you don't want me, I'm removing myself from the situation. Blocked. And then he DMs me on Instagram, like maybe a couple weeks later, hey, you know, I tried to call and text you, but I saw that I was blocked, yada yada. I didn't respond because you showed me that you didn't want me, and I backed away. Women just have to understand.
Why did you block him though? Why did you just not talk to him? What is
I blocked him because I feel like once you show me you don't want me, you have no access to me. You don't get to call me. You don't get to text me. You don't get that privilege anymore. You should not have my number no more. Once you showed me that you were not interested, we don't got nothing else to talk about. Period. I'm very strict. I'm very strict on what somebody shows you. You need to believe it. And a lot of people are delusional. They try to be like, they don't like rejection. So they'll try to manipulate any situation or da-da-da-da. I don't got to do all that. Because if you don't want me, somebody else does. And I'm dating somebody right now. So it's like, you just got to believe what somebody shows you and act accordingly. I blocked him. No, you can't call me. You can't text me no more. When he DM'd me on Instagram, I read it. I left him on red. You don't got to worry about me. So the first sign that shows you that a man is acting iffy about you, 100% he don't want you. There is no iffy. There is no he doesn't know. He knows and he don't want you. So,
I totally agree. Shout out to Zamir Cage for the super chat. Appreciate you, bro. So I agree with you. I just don't agree with the blocking thing, but you know, I'm not a woman, so it is what it is. I just don't understand the blocking.
I'm gonna block somebody. If I don't do nothing else, I'm gonna block somebody.
Okay, like I said, I'm not a woman, so I don't know. But women I don't understand the blocking stuff. It is, I get it. I guess.
As that, you know, I'm done pouring into your cup. I'm gonna start pouring back into mine. And if you want to be a part of this journey, you are more than welcome. But I'm not doing that shit no more. They're gonna leave. They're gonna make up some dramatic ass scene and try to play the victim. But ultimately, they're gonna go try to find somebody else to use.
You get a job, you need to do this, you need to do that. Well, I can't do this no more. So you know, you might have to, go do something else. So it sent me to my grandmama's house.
So everybody been commenting on Desi Banks. It's been back and forth between the women having broke man PTSD, or their baby daddies, and the fellas out here that's speaking on hypotheticals because, you gotta hold a man down. No, bruh. And after talking to my old lady, bro, I gotta lean a little bit more to the women's side on this one, man, because I think he being a little disingenuous, talking about she wasn't believing in his hopes and dreams, because at the end of the day, bro, these bills ain't going nowhere. And if she was holding you down for a set of, like, imagine her going out working hard every day, coming home to pay the bills and shit, and she see you out running around with her wigs on making skits, bro, like, no, that's not, man. You can't do that as no man, bro. I'm sorry. And he was like, well, when if I was working, no, bro, you could chase your dreams and still do a little something to contribute more, bro. You can't just like, nah, bro. I'm sorry, that ain't. And for all the dudes that's out there, yeah, you get like, y'all work at the Amazon warehouse. Stop. Y'all projecting like the women do when y'all talk about these one in a lifetime chance niggas that popped off after being at the slums. Like, stop. Like, your lady was holding you down and said, look, it's getting rough. I need you to do something more, a little bit more. And your response was, you don't believe in my dreams.
That part right there, man. It's the guilt tripping and the gaslighting of a woman that literally is having real life issues. I got to pay these bills. Bro, work a night job. You're not doing skits at night. You're not doing skits 7 o'clock in the morning. Like, you're not doing skits 24 hours a day. Like, find 8 hours out of the day and get a job or get another job and then do a skit while you sitting in the car. They did a bunch of car skits. You get off work, pick up whoever, and y'all do a car skit after work.
No, seriously. Yeah, it's definitely not one or the other. A person who is real hungry, real thirsty, and understands that real life things are still going on, they're gonna have a job and chase their dreams. Like we were saying before, like we both did it. Like I did it when I had my corporate job. You know, like I wasn't tired enough that I wasn't gonna chase my dreams too. Like, you know, like we all got, you know, you gotta take the steps, you know, but just really being like, but here's the thing too, like that's how I know that he was really like using his girlfriend. Because if you as a man were not living with your mom or living off of your girlfriend, you would have been living by yourself and paying rent anyway. So you were really trying to get over. You were trying to get over while she was paying most of the bills and had your kids. You were really getting over to be able to not pay rent, to be able to just do this by yourself. So just say that. Like, I think I would have respected the interview more if he would have just been like, you know, I believed in myself and nobody else did. I was chasing my dreams and my girlfriend was there and she was holding me down to give me a place to stay while I was chasing my dreams. And I thank her for that. But when it got to be too much, I had to move on. If he would have just said that, that's one thing. But being like, you know, I wish she would have supported me more. She did support you, nigga. She was letting you live with her rent free. Who knows how?
Wait. I need you to repeat what you just said right there. Just say that part again. Because that right there was it.
No, for real.
You literally dropped a really like gem right there that nobody's paying attention to. You were supporting him.
Yes,
because like he was living in your house.
Like she did support you. Like I don't understand like this rhetoric that it's either she wasn't supporting you or she was paid. Like she was. You was living in her house. You said she kicked you out. That means your lease was not on, your name was not on the lease or on the deed to that house. It was her place. And she let you live there. She did support you probably for as long as she could before she got fed up. Like I was fed up in a month or two. It was probably a while.
How can you get mad at a woman that's you living in her house and then you turn around and say she wasn't supporting me? She was literally supporting you because you were living in her house.
She was supporting you. She was going above. That woman was going above and beyond. She was doing more than what I did. Okay. She was going above and beyond. And that's what I'm talking about. Mothers, they don't be wanting girlfriends because only your mother should have did that for you. No woman that you're not married to should have did that for you in the first place.
Yeah. So yeah, like I said, I live with a woman, but she never paid the bills. I always, because and my life is a little bit different because at 13 I was paying my mama's bills. So I grew up, my mama taught me the man pays the bills. And I was a kid paying, you know, we was on Section 8. So our rent was only $35 a month. So I was paying the $35 a month bills. So all together.
Sorry to cut you off. I just kept losing this thought. I saw this TikTok video of a Black woman saying that the reason why we're having so much kind of like, you know, this discourse about money and everything and Black people can't come together. She was saying that the reason that we are having these problems in the Black community that the other communities don't experience is because, simply put, the women are not hard enough on the men. Like Black women are not hard enough on Black men. Because if you had certain standards to yourself, to your life, a man would have no choice but to rise to that standard to have access to you. But Black women give too much access, too much support, too much doormat behavior up front, and it lets the man be comfortable off the rip. Like if Desi's girlfriend would have been like, I'm not giving you kids and you're not living with me, he would have had to just rise to the occasion. He would have had to pay his own rent. So I feel like that's so true. Like if a woman is giving you easy access, you weren't working hard for anything, it's easy. And and Black women need to tell Black men, no, I'm not gonna date you unless you got X, Y, and Z. Because you know what they're gonna do? They're gonna get X, Y, and Z. Period.
Yeah, but I agree with you. I think the reason why is because I totally agree with you. I think the reason why is most women are overweight and they're physically lazy. So women don't have enough belief in their looks. So they spend so much time trying to look better than other women to compete for men like they are the actual men. So their minds are more in tune with trying to get a man or get a better man or beat this woman out or beat out the hoes, you know, the good girls versus the hoes or whatever. And they forget about the fact that they have to turn around and have standards So you don't have standards if you're running around spending all your energy trying to compete with other women, because the other women don't have standards. So then it's kind of like, okay, say I got a card game and you got a card game, right? And say we're competing and I start seeing everybody buying your card game, and say my card game is $80 or whatever, right? And you're charging $20 for your card game. Well, if everybody's buying your card game, regardless, if unless I go do something different, I gotta lower the price of my card game to compete with yours, instead of making my card game better or adding something to the value of mine to make mine better than yours. So I think that's what's going on with women. Their self-worth is so low where they spend energy competing versus energy on themselves, building themselves up, being better women with better standards.
It's not just the whole 1 versus 1, the 80 versus 20. It's the quantity as well. Because here's the thing. It's not just the quality, right, of the $20 versus $80, because we know that that's not really a factor, especially for Black people, because they will buy designer clothes before they buy Walmart clothes, and the designer clothes are more expensive. So we know that people will spend more or invest more into what they actually want and the quality. So, but when you see the $20 all around you, when all you see is $20 and you're the only one spending $2,000, then you go, well, wait. So that's what it is. It's not necessarily just the fact that the 20 is more accessible. It's the fact that everybody is the $20. So that's what I'm saying. If more women it's because there's always going to be prostitutes. There's always going to be side chicks. That's always going to exist. But when, as women, when we collectively say we are going to be harder on our men to make them rise to the occasion, and you see more of that around you, it doesn't matter if you see the $20 here. You're still going to go after the $2,000 because you're saying, okay, the dating pool is rising, and I'm going to go after what I actually want instead of what I can just easily have. Because a man can always buy a prostitute. A man can always buy a side chick. That's always going to be a thing. But we just have to collectively say, as women, let's play for the same team. But like I said, when I was younger, I really used to think that women were all on the same team. I used to think that we all had a common goal to have a good man and to have one man. And I thought that was but the more I've been in podcasting and talk and seeing people talk on social media, the more I'm just like, that's not true. Women are not on this. We are not playing for the same team. And that's why we will never increase the quality of the dating pool, because there will always be $20 all around you. Always. Because like you said, it's gone to the inverse, to where it used to be that women were the prize. You used to have to compete for a woman. You used to have to be the best to be the woman. Like in the mating world with animals, there's only one male king lion, or like the big dog, and he gets all the women, right? But now it's like, well, now women are not the prize anymore. Like, you don't have to be like this great man to get a woman. Women will really lay down for any man, because they're like, any man is a prize. Because men are the prize now. But when women go back to referring to themselves as the prize, and I'm not auditioning for you, you're auditioning for me, that's when things will turn around. But unfortunately, who knows if that'll ever happen? Because it's true. Like, a lot of women don't have worth.
You got to look at what the difference is between the $20 product and the $80 product. Women don't look like $80 products. All y'all do is no. The thing about it is, in order for your worth to go up, you have to look better and do better and think better and operate better. Women are inherently lazy. So the average Black woman is fat, overweight. They don't look. Hold on. Let me finish. Let me finish. Younger women have kids. Younger women are out of shape. So you gotta look at what the average, because there's an 80-20 going on. You got women that look like you and operate like you and think like you, and then you got the rest of them down here that are fat and lazy and sit around and going to brunches and drinking mimosas all day, and they fat. So the thing about it is, it's a huge disparity. So it causes the women up here to start being like, this is, you dating somebody, so it's not really you. But a lot of attractive women who actually take care of themselves and have standards, they are having trouble getting men because there's so many of the bum chicks down here that are half fat and they give up the ass to anybody. So, and I'm not putting it on women, but what I'm saying is the reason why women cannot raise their standards for men, because they have not raised standards for themselves. I always tell women, if you have soda in your refrigerator, you don't deserve a husband. If you still eat macaroni and cheese every Thursday, you don't deserve a husband. If you don't go to the gym 3-4 times a week, you don't deserve a husband. Because a woman gets with me, we gonna be in the gym together, or you gonna be in the gym and I'm gonna be over. Like, I ain't dealing with no woman that ain't going to no damn gym. Most women have a problem with that. They do have a problem with that because I'm dating them. And I have a conversation and ask them, how often you go to the gym? Well, I don't really go, but they be fine. They be cute. They be petite. They have a nice body, but that's not enough for me. And I want you to think about that. I look at things from a future ramification standpoint. If I get you pregnant, or if we get married or whatever, if you don't have the muscle memory or the habit of getting your ass up and going to the gym every other day, it's a guarantee that you're going to gain weight, because that's just natural. And then you're going to end up starting to gain weight, and I'm going to start having an issue, and I'm going to get mad at you or perturbed with you because you're not going to the gym. But guess what? It's my fault because I didn't get with a woman in the beginning who had the muscle memory or the habit of going to the gym. So now she's going to be like, oh, now you think I'm fat? Do you think if a woman goes to the gym on a normal basis and I tell her she getting fat, she going to say something? She's going to say, oh shit, thank you for telling me, because I need to do some more squats. But a woman that don't go to the gym is going to be offended if you say you're getting fat. So it's a mindset of the typical bum thought process, no therapy getting, men blaming, lazy, not going to the gym, eating like fat people, ass women out here who are down here, who are giving ass out like Halloween candy on Halloween. So they can't raise their standards because they too damn lazy. That's all I'm saying. So I'm agreeing with you, but I'm telling you why they can't raise their standards. They can't.
Yeah, but yes, that's true. But the women and okay, so that's true. And what I'm going to say is going to speak to that truth, because I always refer to the women that I know, but because of who I am, the women that I know are of a higher caliber. Because I'm thinking about the Black women that I know that are single, college educated, good looking, big booty, skinny women, smart, ain't out here hoeing, you know.
Like, none of that matters though. Do you understand that?
What?
Do you understand? Do you understand if any of those women, I don't know them, but if none of those women are going to the gym or eating right, none of that matters, because at some point at your age, all that shit is just going to go out the window. Dudes get dad bod, women get fat women bod.
Yeah, that's just your preference personally. Like, that's not a qualification for marriage. That's just your preference. But my friends actually, I'm the one that don't be going to the gym. My friends actually, they go to the gym a lot. Like, they're always with a trainer, yada, yada, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I know a lot of Black women like that are just like, I cannot find a guy that I like. Like, I'm going out on dates. I don't like these guys. They aren't on my level. Like, and I'm just like, you can't argue that they're, in the Black community specifically, you can't argue that there are going to be more marriageable Black women than marriageable Black men. That's just a fact. There's going to be a surplus. If we paired up every marriageable Black man with a marriageable Black woman, there's going to be a surplus of these Black women who will have to either not get married or date outside of their race to get married, which that it is what it is, whatever.
Why?
But
why
I say that.
Why do you think that? Just a question.
What do I think?
Why do you think there are more marriageable women than there are marriageable men?
That's just a fact. You can look at health essays that talk about education levels, that talk about the money to be made. that talk about the willingness to even want to get married, because there are a lot of eligible Black men out there that don't even want to get married until they're like 50. And we've experienced that. Like that's something in our demographic that's very unique to Black men as well. Every other race of man, by the time that they're 30, they're like, okay, yeah, let's get married. Black men just hold off on marriage for whatever reason. I don't know. I don't care. But you can look at records and see that there are more Black women that have a job, a degree, whatever qualifies you to be marriageable. Than
marriageable? Because my question is to this statistic, what is the quantification of marriageable? Because how can you
whatever they quantify as marriageable, whatever they quantify as marriageable, right? Whether it be when I think about marriageable, I always think about your job, your education, and if you want to be married. That's what I think about when I think about marriageable. And when I think about those three things, the Black women are going to outnumber the Black men. Period. Like that's just it is. It is.
See, me, I look at looks and mental state, because as a man, and I can't speak for all men, but the number one thing, and the guys in the chat, y'all can let me know if y'all disagree or agree. One of the main things we simply need you to do is just be able to maintain your body. So 80% of Black women are fat or grossly overweight.
I'm saying that's not marriageable. That's just your preference.
I get it. So when I see when a typical guy sees a woman that is fat, she is not marriageable. So that part is the issue. Now, from a statistics standpoint, y'all love to talk about y'all college degrees. Nobody gives a damn. That has nothing to do with marriage to men. We care about how you operate mentally and how you operate physically, because how you look, just like I showed the girl with the dreads and how she was looking, I said you can look at her and tell what type of personality she has, right? We can look at people as men and see what type of personality they have, and sometimes we're wrong, but in a lot of times we're right. So if I see a fat woman, the first thing I'm going to say is she's not marriageable, because something caused her to get fat or stay fat. She's either lazy or she eats her trauma, and she's going to continue to eat more, and she doesn't have enough discipline physically to actually maintain either a marriage, maintain children without, getting super overweight, or just maintain her weight. So for a lot of us men, marriageable is about your level of discipline, and we can look at your neck, your collarbone, your face, not even your body. We can look at your face, your neck, and your collarbone, your cheekbones, how you maintain your body, because weight starts up here and then it goes down there. So it starts all up here. So even a chick, we could just see the top of your body. We can tell that you have a certain amount of discipline. You feel me? We ain't even got to see your butt. It ain't about your butt, but it's not about your degree either. And that's the thing that what women just don't want to understand. Marriageable has nothing to do with no damn college degree. It's about your level of discipline.
Okay, listen. The only group of men that don't care about college degrees are Black men, because Black men just don't have them. And that's just a fact. When you think about, not even when you think about, but I just read a research article that was talking about how the divorces happen and the race for divorce. And they were talking about the statistics on things that couples have in common that are more likely to keep them from getting divorced. One was your alcohol habits, how often you drink. If you have the same alcohol habits, you're more likely to stay together. Right. But another one was education level. They said that if two people have the same level of education, they're more likely to not get divorced as well. So if a Black woman has a bachelor's degree and the Black man does not saying that they're doomed, but I'm just saying that level of education is a factor, and that goes into if people get divorced or not. So if more Black men had college degrees, maybe that would make more Black men marriageable, because a lot of Black women do have college degrees. I don't care about college degree either way. You don't, and I don't. I have one. I don't know if you do, but I don't care about college degree either way, because I kind of feel like college is not for everybody. It's a scam. It's all it is guaranteed debt. It's not a guaranteed job. But I'm just saying the level of education does go into whether or not you're going to get divorced or not. So there's just things that are just like that tie people together. like socioeconomic status. It ties people together. Like that's just a fact. So,
Mhm.
you know, when we have Black women that just have these things, whether you think they're important or not, is irrelevant, because if you have them, but Black men don't, there's just a level of disconnect that's going to be there.
Yeah. So when it comes to college degrees, I agree. It's a scam, and I never fell for the scam. So I never went to college, and shout out to me. And I make way more money than the average person that has a whatever the hell degree, a doctorate degree, make more money than they ass. So shout out to me. But it's what we were taught. So it's nothing wrong with the thought process of you need to have a college degree. I understand where the stupid ideology comes from, because at the end of the day, things are changing. We're more of a gig economy, a product economy. You feel me? So at the end of the day,
they were
most,
schools and
most
making
people,
people give them college degrees.
yeah, most people who have college degrees either don't make money in the with the degree that they made, you know, it ain't even the same line of work, or either they're broke as hell, or either they're paying a whole bunch of school debt. Like, so at the end of the day, I can understand, but I'm smart enough to have looked at that shit years ago, and I was like, I'm not doing that dumbass shit. I'm not taking out no damn loan. I'll take a loan out to buy card games. I'll take a loan out to buy a warehouse. I'll take a loan out to buy a rental house or whatever. You feel me? I'm not taking no loan out to go to school. That, to me, that's stupid. Like, all the things you're taking out a loan for, you're taking out a loan to go to school. I'm going to take out a loan and start a business. That's just me. I just think it's stupid. The whole taking a loan out to go to damn school is just dumb to me. But, you know, it is what it is. But no, all I'm saying is I just wanted to show that there's a total difference in men marriageability and a woman's viewpoint of marriageability, especially in 2024. So I know white people, black people, but all together, we men don't give a damn about y'all degrees, because we don't need degrees. And it's kind of pathetic in a way, not bad, but in a way, that y'all need degrees in order for y'all to feel good about yourselves. And it's beautiful how we don't need degrees for us to feel good about ourselves, because at the end of the day, we are operating within where the world presently is, and y'all are operating in the world where it was 2006 or whatever. Nobody cares about that shit no more.
Yeah, but
So
Black men are not operating at a high degree, though. So you're trying to make it seem like, oh, Black men or Black women get degrees to make themselves feel better. Black men are not operating at a high degree either, because y'all don't got
you're in
college
Atlanta.
education.
You don't see it in Atlanta? Are you looking at
No,
statistics
I
or in
definitely
your
see
own
that. You can't compare Atlanta to the entire country. Let's just keep that. Like, Atlanta is like the Black Mecca. You're going to see good Black people in Atlanta, DC, and let's say maybe Houston, but that's not most of the country. So when we look at the most of the country and the majority of Black people, a lot of Black men are not operating at a high degree. If Black men had the ideology that you had, and they're like, it's stupid for me to take out a loan for college, I would say, you know what? Absolutely. But what are you going to do now? What are you going to do now? A lot of them don't go to trade school. They don't open up their own businesses. They don't do shit. You know what they do? They leave out college because they don't school was not for them. Okay, school is not for everybody, but they live at home with their parents. They do shit like, you know, chase dreams like Desi Banks and let their girlfriends take care of them. And then maybe later on down the line, once they got a couple kids out of wedlock, now they're like, oh shit, you know, like let me try to do something. And maybe they'll get a decent earning job like at 40. But even then you're still struggling because child support, housing prices going up. You know, the things that you should have been doing to build yourself up at 20. Black men are not doing that. They're putting a lot of their lives on the back burner. And then by the time that they're hitting 40 and 50, now a light switch is going off. And I see it all the time. So, you know, if Black men are not going to college, that's okay. I don't get the debt. I don't, whatever, but do something else. Go to trade school, because my high school that I went to was a trade school. And I saw people graduating with, they could be an electrician. They could be a welder. There was a lot of art classes. Girls were getting cosmetology licenses. They were leaving high school and being able to get these trade jobs because they were like, if college isn't for me, what am I doing? And a lot of Black men are not doing that. They're not thinking ahead. They're thinking for the right now. Oh, I don't want to go to college right now. Well, what the fuck else are you going to do right now? Because you need to be doing something.
And you make a great point. I did go to trade school. Me and my friends, one of us went to diesel mechanics, another one went to auto mechanics, and I went to aircraft mechanics. So I did go to trade school, but I did not take out a loan. You know, I got a HOPE program or whatever, so it's free. You know what I'm saying? Being a welder, I know how to do all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Do I want to do it? No, but I know how to do it. You know what I'm saying?
And I know that, you know, because even the high school that I went to, that was a trade school. I don't know if that high school is still there, and we know that it's because listen, the government don't want Black people to win, especially Black men. They'll you know, take you out of where you need to be. They'll take away technical jobs that you could be working at without a college degree. They'll take away the technical high schools. I get it. But it's just like, if you know that this is going on, and as a man, you should be aware of what's going on around you, then make a plan for what you need to do. And Black men are always not the best people at that. Let's just keep it real. They'll put it on their mama, they'll put it on their baby mamas, they'll put it on their girlfriends, and then they'll chase dreams for a decade. And who knows if that's going to pan out. Desi Banks was lucky, period.
So
let's
go back to that. Let's go back to that, because I think that's the most important part of all this. As a man, for everybody watching right now, put a 1 in the chat if you've either went to college or trade school. Put a 1 in the chat, ladies and men, if you went to college or trade school. The number one thing we men have to understand, because building my just everything that I built, turning into Mr. Let Go, I actually stayed away from women for like 2.5 to 3 years. I dated, I messed around with exes, I, you know, had situationships or whatever, but I did not have a girlfriend for like 2.5, 3 years, specifically because I wrote a book, I was driving for Uber, I left my job, I was selling cars, make about $80,000 a year, doing well, and I wanted to do more. I started hanging around a group of people, David Shands and a lot of different people in Atlanta, and it was all about entrepreneurship. It was about selling t-shirts. This is my t-shirt brand right here, right? Family empowerment. And it was about products and this and that. And David Shands used to sell t-shirts in the mall, and he told me he paid like $2,000 a month, and he just stood there just selling people t-shirts all day, right? So I went out there and I was like, I want to sell my book, because I had wrote a book, and I seen how hard it was. I was like, shit, I wouldn't want to do this all day. So what I actually did was I said, I'm going to start driving for Uber and make the Uber car my kiosk. So instead of having random people that you got to pull to your kiosk, I'm going to have a captive audience. So when Uber first came out, I don't think Lyft was even a thing. But when Uber and Lyft first came out, you got a captive audience. And it was a random thing where people have a conversation. Hey, so what else do you do other than driving for Uber? Oh, I'm an author. Oh, really? Here's my book. And then boom, I was not selling books in my car, because the IRS might be watching. But yeah, I was not selling books in my car while I was driving for Uber, and I was only getting income from driving for Uber, and it was actually working out. And I was just busting my ass, not selling books in my Uber car and just driving for Uber, being a typical Uber driver, and it was actually working out. And I was like, look at this. I got a kiosk inside of my car.
Yeah. One factor that you talked about, but we don't emphasize enough, is the fact that you talked about it. You said, you know, Atlanta. Just think about, when we think about the environment that we're in and how much it affects us, the only reason that you started wanting to sell, like you want to sell your book, was because you saw other Black men going out there and working for themselves. You don't, and that's why I said Atlanta, DC, and maybe Houston. You don't see that anywhere else in the country. Other times, Black people will tell you, if you don't go to college, get a job. And then you're stuck in that 9 to 5 for 40 years, maybe have a couple kids, maybe you get married, maybe you don't. But only in Atlanta, DC, and Houston do you see Black people going out there and being like, there's other ways to do this besides me working for somebody else.
Yeah.
And that's why I moved to Atlanta. I wasn't getting that in upstate New York. My parents wanted me to get a job and move out, and just, there was like, have some stability about yourself. I was like, no, I'm moving to Atlanta. And that's what I did. So you have to really, you know, we get, I think we take it for granted, and we're lucky in the fact that we live in a place where we see Black people doing well all the time. But a lot of Black people don't get to see that. And that's why a lot of Black people are not doing well too, because sometimes you can only imitate what you see. You only know something's out there when you see it for yourself. So yeah, we take it for granted, but that speaks to my point too. A lot of people are living all over the country. They're not living in Atlanta, DC, and Houston. So that just speaks to it even more that a lot of Black men are not marriageable because they don't see shit like this. Like they don't see people like us working for, like, I got up today and I went shopping at 12 p.m. And now I'm on, I joined the live with you. Like I could do that because I don't have to work for nobody else. But we don't see that too often. It's not normalized. But it's normalized in other cultures, I would say. Because even when I was living in upstate New York, a lot of my white friends, their parents had their own company. And to me, that was so foreign. They had their own companies. They lived in good jobs. And you know what they did? They were contractors. They were electricians. They weren't ball players. They weren't this. They were just simple people that had their own business and they made a good living doing things that people needed them to do. They fixed up people's houses. They were a plumber and they just made good money. But Black people don't see that. So we're very lucky that we live in a place where we see it. And it's not the norm for a lot of Black people, period.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and the main reason why I brought up that is in my mind, laying up watching Netflix with a woman versus getting out here and driving for Uber till 4 o'clock in the morning. Which am I going to pick? Because you got a girlfriend. She ain't thinking about tolerating no boyfriend out all night, Thursday night, out all night, Friday night, out all night, Saturday night, coming home 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. No, what you was doing? I was driving for Uber. Yeah, right. Because in all honesty, I was catching driving for Uber. Because chicks would, because chicks be going to clubs trying to catch, and they don't catch, and they see an attractive dude that's an Uber driver. We exchanging numbers. So I was coming up on chicks while driving for Uber. So I didn't need a girlfriend, but I did not want to have a girlfriend. I was just doing whatever, because overall, I didn't want to have a woman attached to me while I was trying to build my brand, because it would have either been not fair to her or not fair to me, because I would have felt the need to give something to her. I'm busting my ass. I'm driving for Uber, literally like Uber and then Lyft. Uber and then Lyft. Take a nap. Uber, I'm busting my ass. I ain't got time to be all up in a woman's face. I ain't looking at no Netflix. I ain't know what the hell a Netflix was when Netflix came out. People be talking about Netflix. I ain't know what the fuck the shit it was, because I ain't never looked at the shit. When Netflix first came out, I wasn't thinking about that shit. Netflix and chill and all that. Man, please. I'm driving. I'm busting my ass. So I did not want to put a woman in a position where she needed my energy, because I needed my energy. And that's the thing for the Desi Banks type of people out here. Like, that woman was actually the person that helped you release yourself from, because sometimes we get with a woman and we feel the need to give to her or be with her or be loyal to her. No, like I do so much. Well, I used to do so much content with women. Like, I didn't want because I wasn't broke driving for Uber, but I was a Uber driver. So I'm perceived as broke, right? So you don't want to be with no broke dude driving for Uber and he got all these women around him. It's one thing about you got a business going on and you got a lot of women around you. But if you are quote unquote broke Uber driver and you got all these women around you, you traveling and shit, nah, you smashing something. It just wouldn't have looked right. So yeah, we got to stay away from these women and work on ourselves. And if you don't want to work on yourself and you need a woman around you, that means you have mommy issues. I'm totally cool with not being around no goddamn woman, building what I need to build. I was the only child. I don't need all that shit. Sometimes women get in the way of you growing. So if his girlfriend would not have did that, he probably would not be Desi Banks he is now. Just my opinion.
Maybe we don't know. But yeah, moral of the story is you can chase your dreams, but do it on your own time. Don't be trying to take no advantage of nobody else and their resources trying to get you to the top. Because people say, that's bad karma, but as a man, you shouldn't want to do that to begin with. Like, why would you even want a woman's help to get to where you need to be? You should be doing that for yourself. So that's number one. If you're gonna chase dreams, do it while you're single and childless. And number two, when there were people that was helping you out, Don't be sitting up there trying to, you know, trash talk them, talking about how they wasn't supporting you. She was supporting you. You was living with her rent free. So be out. If I was Desi Banks, I would have gone on that interview and been like, it was times where the money was not coming in. And I actually did have people that even if they didn't support me the entire way, they supported me for a little while. And I thank them for that. That's what he should have said, because he should have been thanking her instead of saying that she wasn't supporting him. So those are my closing thoughts.
And that is my biggest issue right there. The way he played it, it looked like she was this bad person and he was a victim of her, even though she let him live with her. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was the optics that I didn't like, and that's why I wanted to do this show. So thank you for pulling up. Of course, we got a podcast, some podcast episodes that are about to be coming out soon. And this Friday, that's what's up. That's what's up. Yeah, so we got a bunch of podcast episodes coming out sooner or later. But yeah, so I love doing content with you.
You talking about Jacoby's?
Yeah, I don't know whenever the hell it comes out. So it's I'm just saying, you don't think it's not gonna come out?
No.
What? Really?
Yeah. But you know what I feel like too? Just, you know, thoughts. I kind of feel like he didn't think that the episode was strong, not because of us, but maybe because of them, because of him and his new co-host. So I feel like maybe the episode won't come out. But if it does, it does. But I'm not holding my breath. I think they felt like it wasn't strong because the new co-host was new and the nigga seemed nervous and he didn't know what the hell he was talking about half the time. And I kind of feel like they were like, okay, this was a practice, and maybe they'll try it again next time.
Cause we took over that podcast episode. We took that shit over. So yeah, but I'm gonna see what we could do to get that footage out, because I think that was really good. That was some really good banter. So, but yeah, so everybody, tell people who are watching, because I'm putting this on Facebook. I can't go live on Facebook, but I'm gonna download this and put this on Facebook because I think Facebook cut out my lives, but I can post on Facebook. So let Facebook and YouTube know how they can find you.
Yes, so the socials are Amani Talks Pod on Instagram, Amani Talks on TikTok, and then you can also search Amani Talks on YouTube, and it'll bring up my One Thing About It podcast. And then also on Patreon, it's Amani Talks. So all the socials are Amani Talks. You can find my podcast on YouTube every week. This Friday, me and Let Go's episode will be out. And then you can also follow me on Patreon. But those are more the women discussions. But yeah, everyone go to the socials and follow them, and you'll see the clips and episodes coming out soon.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And I'm gonna put. Do you want me to put Amani Talks in the description or the podcast?
Put Amani Talks. Yeah.
Amani Talks. Gotcha. Okay. All right. So I will talk to you later, and thank you for pulling up on me.
All right. Thank you. I'll talk to you later.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
All right, y'all. So hopefully y'all got a lot from this, because my whole thing about Desi Banks, because I got a couple more videos that Desi Banks, a couple more people talking about Desi Banks. But the thing about it is, the biggest thing that y'all can learn just in the chat is that you having a woman actually is going to hold you back from your purpose. Women to a certain degree, because you know certain types of women, but overall, the average woman is going to be a liability. All right. Regardless of what you want to say, regardless of what you want to think, women are liabilities. When the Bible says he who finds a good woman finds a good thing, that is one woman that he finds. But the rest of these damn women are liabilities. You run around trying to get with a woman and she's going to believe in you. She's not going to believe in you because you ain't doing shit. You have to believe in you. You can't have a mommy to believe in you. You can't have a mommy doing all this stuff for you. No, you got to get out here, get it out the mud. And once you get it out the mud and you got some sort of a purpose, you ain't got to be at the top, but you got to have a purpose. You got to have a direction. I always say men are like buses, and a woman is supposed to look at the man and see exactly where the man is going. That is on the side of the bus is the number 24 going to so-and-so street. You know exactly where the man is going. And then boom, she can get on your bus, sit down somewhere, put her headphones on, and just ride. You don't need the person on a bus telling you where to go, the person on a bus telling you missed a turn, the person on a bus. No, you need the person on a bus sitting their asses down while you drive the bus. But a lot of you dudes, y'all need the person that is sitting on the bus to tell your ass where you need to go. And that is not what a bus is supposed to be. So let's see what else we got on these TikToks.
You gotta.
And hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. I got flagged on Facebook and YouTube. So I need y'all's help to get the views up because I just got flagged. So hopefully the flag will go away. But yeah, I just got flagged 2 days ago.
Go, bruh. You know, one of the main reasons why I understand how Shawty feeling is because of the simple fact. If you watch the skits that he's made throughout the years, anybody with a regular job could have also made them same skits. So I don't understand how he don't understand where Shawty was coming from. It's not like he was making skits like Mr. Beats. Nah, that shit that he was doing could have probably took him like an hour or two at the most to do it. At the most. And that's stretching it. The man said he gave her what he could. He just wanted to make sure his phone bill was paid and he had a haircut to make his skits. Look, I wouldn't find your ass funny neither if we were struggling and your ass just want to make some skits. And then everybody like, man, if she would have stayed down, she would have. Look, bro, it is a lot of folks that blew up on social media when he did doing the same shit. He just happened to be one of the ones to finally make some money off of it. So y'all can say that shit. It's like, it is what it is. And all y'all in the comments talking like Shawty a bum or something right now. Shit. If she was that far ahead back then, I could just imagine what she doing now.
She didn't believe in my dream and my goals. I used to want her to support me so much.
I got two things to say, and I'm going to get on about your way. Point number one, while I will not infer or assume anything about their relationship, I will say this. Hating ass spouses, hating ass boyfriends and girlfriends is a thing. And what we have to realize as well as recognize is that some people, based on their inadequacies, will project that off onto you in relationships to whereby you're trying to accomplish a certain thing and they're just like, they're so nonchalant about it.
They supposed to be nonchalant about it, sir. It's your dream, not theirs. See, this guy right here is most likely a bum because he wants a woman to believe in something that he has not created yet. And that is part of the problem. So this guy right here is one of the gaslighting bums that women are dealing with, and which women have a problem with. Because now, just re-listen to what he just said. Hit a like button, y'all.
Believe in my dream and my goals. I used to want her to support me so much.
I got two things to say, and I'm going to get on about your way. Point number one, while I will not infer or assume anything about their relationship, I will say this. Hating ass spouses, hating ass boyfriends and girlfriends is a thing. And what we have to realize as well as recognize is that some people, based on their inadequacies, will project that off onto you in relationships to whereby you're trying to accomplish a certain thing and they're just like, they're so nonchalant about it. You tell them about a milestone that you've reached and they're not really as excited about it as you.
See, that's the problem right there. They're not supposed to be as excited about it as you. What do you want a woman to do? Like clap for you? Like what I don't understand what men want these women to do. Can anybody explain this to me? Why the hell does a woman have to like act like his mama? That's the thing I just don't understand. I don't understand. Why do men think like this? You get mad at a woman for not believing something that you ain't showed her yet. What did you expect? What do you expect? You go do some work.
And they're just like, They're so nonchalant about it. You tell them about a milestone that you've reached, and they're not really as excited about it as you.
Let me get this straight. All she asked was, hey, I'm carrying most of the load. You're going to have to get a job because what I make is not enough to support both of us and to support your dream. And he took this as, she didn't support me, I just didn't have no support, and all the guys in the comments, y'all wouldn't get it. I'm so sick of this dusty prophecy. It really gets on my nerves, dog.
And I agree with her. I'm sick of these dudes who have this dusty mindset of, why don't these women believe in us? The bigger question is, why don't you believe in you? That's the biggest thing. Because if you believed in your own dream enough, you're not going to be worried about what somebody else is believing in or not believing in, because you believe in you. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree with that. If you believe in yourself, you don't necessarily need a woman to believe in you. Or am I wrong? Just let me know if y'all agree or disagree with that. If you believe in your dream enough, you don't need a woman to believe in your dream as much as you do. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree. Because it's just something I may not supposed to understand. Because if I believe in myself, why in the world do I need a woman to also believe in me? I don't get it. I don't get it. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree. I just don't understand. So let's see what this woman says.
And they're just like, They're so nonchalant about it. You tell them about a milestone that you've reached, and they're not really as excited about it as you.
Let me get this straight. All she asked was, hey, I'm carrying most of the load. You're going to have to get a job because what I make is not enough to support both of us and to support your dream. And he took this as, she didn't support me, I just didn't have no support, and all the guys in the comments, y'all wouldn't get it. I'm so sick of this dusty prophecy. It really gets on my nerves, dog.
I agree. A lot of you dudes have mommy issues, and all y'all want is some woman to believe in you. Like you gotta, I don't know, you gotta get your life together, because I personally think it's sad. I didn't need nobody to believe in me. I paid for mentors. I paid for people to actually help me. I didn't need no woman to help me. I paid people money to help me. I want y'all to think about that. If you're trying to build a business, you don't need your girlfriend to help you. You need to pay a mentor to help you. You need to surround yourself around other people that are doing the same thing so they can guide you. Your girlfriend got her own life, her own job, her own issues, and she ain't got time to be sitting here being in your face trying to make you feel good about yourself all day. So that's all I got. And one of the ways that is important for all of y'all to just keep in mind of, if you want to find a man or a woman that is equally yoked with you, your number one job is to make sure to buy tools that will help you find that person. And that is my Deeper Discussions card game. The link is hovering around here. The link is under this video. The link is pinned at the top of the chat. Buy my Deeper Discussions card game. And to the people that have already bought, I appreciate you. I think I got about 7-8 people who already bought, so I appreciate y'all. But all together, we got to do better at believing in ourselves. I didn't need no woman to sit here and tell me, create a Deeper Discussions card game. I did the shit on my own. I don't need that. but a lot of y'all have mommy issues. So it is what it is. So I will talk to y'all later, and I will figure this Facebook, YouTube thing out. Something happened 2 days ago, but y'all have a good rest of your day. But make sure to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and send this video to, like, share this video, because my whole shit just got shadow banned all over again. Talk to y'all later.